now I'm Principal Economist. Right now I'm preparing for something. I'm going to do a talk to the Fed board.
Meet Aurel Hizmo. He's a principal economist working inside the Federal Reserve.
So you write speeches for Powell?
Yeah, like for certain paragraphs. I'm just really worried that I'm saying stuff like stuff that's classified.
Do you deal with classified stuff?
It's all classified, right?
Quote, "It's all classified."
It's all classified. Trump is a crazy person. It's very clear. I mean, he's a dumb guy.
Does he hate Trump? Like, is the feeling neutral?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. And Trump was president. He wanted to stimulate the economy.
Right.
But he wouldn't do it. And he started raising interest rates, doing the opposite that Trump wanted. So, I mean, so the feeling is this, that, like, we don't want Trump to be in government.
Right.
Aurel Hizmo, principal economist with the Federal Reserve, says Jerome Powell wants to go down in history as someone who, quote, held the line against Donald Trump, unquote.
He's doing it for the legacy. He wants to be remembered in history as somebody who held the line against like Trump and like somebody who like helped the economy.
So he wants to preserve his legacy as someone, even though he's Republican on paper, Democrats still love him. Yeah, because he's responsive. Like under Powell, the Fed has changed to think about equity issues, like racial issues, think about wealth inequality as part of the mandate, as part of the things we're following. Think about climate change.
Aurel Hizmo says, quote, "People think conservatives are dumb, and that the, quote, Federal Reserve would discriminate against those conservatives depending on how out there they are."
People think they're dumb.
Would they be like discriminated against?
I mean, it depends on like how out there they are. He's doing it for the legacy as somebody who held the line against like Trump.
In today's unpredictable world, it's all about being prepared for who knows what they have in store for the next pandemic. Our friends and supporters at the Wellness Company have designed this unique prescription-based medical emergency kit that is packed with 8 potentially life-saving prescription-only medications, including Z-Pact and ivermectin. Save $45 per kit when you order using the code OMG. Go to twc.health/OMG today.
Are you a senior researcher or economist? What's your title?
So I came here as a senior economist, and now I'm principal economist.
So you're now a principal economist.
Yeah. So right now I'm preparing for something. I'm going to do a talk to the Fed board.
And what's your expertise? What's your specialty? Sorry.
I was a finance professor.
Meet Aurel Hizmo. He's a principal economist working inside the Federal Reserve. Aurel says he's a former finance professor and is called on as a subject matter expert to write speeches for Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Board of Governors for the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the central banking system of the United States. Their main duties include national monetary policy, supervising and regulating banks, and maintaining financial stability. Our subject disclosed details in regards to his roles within the Federal Reserve.
I have to write a speech for him, for Powell now, and then he put his own flavor on it.
So you write speeches for Powell?
That's one of them.
Okay.
I'm not a speechwriter, but like if it's a topic that that you might help, ask me.
You said you are one of the people who helps to write speeches for him.
Yeah, like for certain paragraphs. So like they get grilled by Congress on all kinds of different topics. And we have to prepare them.
We looked up the speech, and it was about the Federal Open Market Committee just a few weeks ago in March of 2024.
Today, the FOMC decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Our restrictive stance of monetary policy has been putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation. As labor market tightness has eased and progress on inflation has continued, the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals are moving into better balance.
Aurel talked about how he worked on the section of the speech regarding the Fed's portfolio.
By the way, after our last day, I actually went and I watched the whole speech that he gave, Powell gave.
Oh my God.
Wait, I want to know, which section did you help him write?
I wrote a particular section. It's like the FOMC gathers, they make some decisions, and then we all get together and say, let's summarize this, and then it goes into like 5 different rounds of edits for different people. So like by the time, like if I'm working on like if I'm working on like the Fed's, say, ideas about like what are they going to do with, say like what are they going to buy more with their portfolio side.
The FOMC, or Federal Open Market Committee, reviews economic and financial conditions, determines the appropriate stance of monetary policy, and assesses the risk to its long-term goals of price stability.
So the Fed has a portfolio of treasuries and ETFs. So anything that has to do with that, like I have to be involved. Is that right there?
Like you have to get involved in what way?
To that particular product? Well, in two ways. First, before they make the decision, they need to know what is happening and what, if they make the decision, like what could happen afterwards. Let me just say, let me just use a non-Fed example because I'm just really worried that I'm saying stuff like stuff that's classified. Like I just don't want to.
Oh, okay.
So just
do you deal with classified stuff?
It's all classified. Right?
Oh, okay.
Aurel, principal economist at the Federal Reserve, states, quote, "It's all classified." Now, the Federal Reserve is known for its lack of transparency. It makes some of the most important policies that impact American finances and day-to-day lives of all Americans. Aurel, principal economist for the Federal Reserve, goes on to speak about Jerome Powell's relationship with Donald Trump.
Trump is a crazy person. It's very clear. I mean, he's a dumb guy. Like,
What?
I mean, just like what you'd say about him. Like that's
What?
the same thing as you'd say about Trump. You would say like Trump is just weird. Like
Weird or
just stupid. Like,
you're a liberal, right?
I'm a big Trumper.
No. But you're
I'm a liberal. Yes.
okay. So you're Biden, right?
What do you mean you're Biden?
Like you support Biden?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Trump hates him. Trump wanted to fire him,
Yeah.
but he couldn't because his independent.
Does he hate Trump? And like is the feeling neutral?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So Trump Trump nominated him and Congress approved it. And then as soon as he became chair, Trump wanted him to lower interest rates. Because when you lower interest rates,
Right.
it stimulates the economy.
Yeah.
And Trump was president. He wanted to stimulate the economy.
Right.
But he wouldn't do it. And he started raising interest rates, doing the opposite that Trump wanted. Trump tried to find all the loopholes to fire him. And
So they don't get along.
No.
So does he get along with Biden?
He does. With the Biden administration.
Yeah.
Biden would want the
Yeah.
interest rates to go lower.
Yep.
At the same time, he doesn't want inflation.
Okay.
Inflation is bad. Everybody's complaining
But
about
inflation is not really an issue anymore, is it?
Well, that's because we've been increasing rates for a little while.
But you think inflation is still a problem for us right now?
Not at the moment.
Aurel Hizmo, principal economist with the Federal Reserve, says Jerome Powell wants to go down in history as someone who, quote, held the line against Donald Trump, unquote.
He's doing it for the legacy. He wants to be remembered in history as
You think he wants to be remembered for what he's done? He wants to go down in history.
Yeah.
As what?
as somebody who held the line against like Trump and somebody who helped the economy out of COVID, with I mean, it's pretty amazing we haven't had a recession, to be honest.
Right.
After COVID, everything's shut down and the economy just keep going up, stock market is going up.
So he wants to preserve his legacy as someone,
savior.
as a savior for America,
Yeah.
and kept us out of a recession
Yeah.
and fought against Trump.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of stuff that comes to his desk that he says no, because this is going to jeopardize the legacy of the Fed or my legacy as a chair.
Yeah.
Aurel Hizmo speaks to how Jerome Powell doesn't want to create a recession during an election year.
He is slow rolling the solution, basically.
Well, because he doesn't want to create a recession.
Okay. So he knows how to fix it, so
Well,
to
I mean,
speak.
he doesn't know, but it's he doesn't want to make any. Imagine you're a doctor and you're trying to give somebody a dose of something. You give them a little bit to see how their body reacts, and you give them a little more.
Yep.
And you can give them a big dose, but then they get huge side effects.
I see.
So that's the worry. The side effect is a recession. The economy can crash.
Right. And obviously, he wouldn't want that during an election year.
Or he wouldn't
that
want
would
it
hurt
anytime.
Biden,
He wouldn't
right?
want it any time.
Yeah.
Because a recession means people lose their homes and people will lose their jobs. And
Yeah.
people might die like from homelessness or like medical bills or like it's a big it's people's lives.
Aurel Hizmo, principal economist at the Federal Reserve, says, quote, people think conservatives are dumb and that the, quote, Federal Reserve would discriminate against those conservatives depending on how out there they are, unquote.
I don't think there are any conservatives in DC.
Do you work with any?
I don't think so. All the people I work with are academics.
Do you think they'll be treated differently in your organization?
People think they're dumb. Like,
yeah. Would they be like discriminated against?
I mean, it depends on like how like out there they are. The problem with Trump is that you can't have like Trump's voters are not voting for him for logical reasons. So I mean, so the feeling is this, that like we don't want Trump to be in government,
right?
But if he comes, we're still going to try to do the best we can for the country. Now, if he messes up, he does something stupid, then we have to like fix it. So he like removed a lot of regulations and stripped that, and made that entity like really weak. So now the Fed has to be like, oh, we have to kind of like do something more to regulate.
To counter what he did, basically to offset what.
Yeah.
Sorry, to offset what Trump did.
Yeah.
So you guys basically introduced a new regulation to basically sit on top of his.
Yeah. Well, sit on top of the stuff that he stripped.
I've had it with all my personal and private information being exposed and exploited by big tech and big government. So I'm joining my friend Eric Prince, and I'm switching to my new unplugged phone. Protect your privacy. Get your very own unplugged phone. Go to unplug.com/OMG. That's unplug.com/OMG. Take your privacy back. Unplug.com/OMG. Aurel Hizmo, principal economist at the Federal Reserve, talks about how the Federal Reserve has changed to think about environmental issues, equity issues, and racial equality.
Even though he's Republican on paper, Democrats still love him.
Yeah, because he's responsive. Like under Powell, the Fed has changed to think about equity issues, like racial issues, think about wealth inequality as part of the mandate, as part of the things we're following.
Yep.
Think about climate change.
What has Powell done with climate change?
So he hasn't done anything himself, but like he creates an environment to foster like research in that area, to foster discussion in the area where like it's a friendly environment where we can hire climate scientists. Aurel Hizmo, principal economist at the Federal Reserve, says Jerome Powell is responsive, but the question is responsive to whom or what exactly? We're establishing in this video that the Federal Reserve is not just determining interest rates, but making policies for desired policy outcomes. So who is determining which of these issues to push? Equity and climate change are known as ESG issues, global issues, and they've been shown to be bad for the bottom line. Why is the Federal Reserve implementing these policies, and how is it impacting society at large? This video is part of an ongoing series that we're doing inside the crypto mafia, the Federal Reserve, the Security and Exchange Commission. If you're on the inside of any of these institutions, reach out to us. This is how we get the information. DM us on Signal, on X or Instagram. Reach out to us at tips.o'keefemediagroup.com. And if you want to be like the brave American swiper who obtained this story, and by the way, we're sending this person a check for $5,000. If you want to be like her and be brave, reach out to us at o'keefemediagroup.com/swiper. We reached out to Aurel Hizmo, principal economist at the Federal Reserve, and asked him for comment. Here's what he had to say.
Are you his friend? She's on the phone right here.
Hey, is this Aurel?
Who's this?
Hey, this is his friend, James.
I don't know who you are. I didn't say
My
anything.
name is James O'Keefe. I'm an investigative reporter, and you're on hidden camera saying all the things you just told me you didn't say.
Sir?
Hello?
We got
Hello?
this car.
OMG is everywhere. We're on the inside. Stay tuned.